People who have seen ghosts have often found them so real and so terrifying that they've changed their entire lives to escape.
Silverwood Colliery, Yorkshire. The miners go down to the coalface, but one man stays on the surface. Stephen Dimbleby has been afraid to venture down the pit since the day he encountered a spectral figure in the subterranean darkness.
My first instinct's whether it was someone, one of my mates mucking about, right? So I shone my light in him, onto his face and his shoulders and that. When I realised he's got no features on his face. And then he got like an old waistcoat thing on a t-shirt, and his waistcoat was darker than his t-shirt, but I couldn't really see colours because of mud. And he got an old helmet on like this one. These card helmets they use in them days. And then I realised that it was a ghost. And so I dropped all my tattle that I got with me. I turned around and set off running towards Pit Bottom. And then the next thing I remember after that was waking up in hospital. And then after that, mates, when I saw them days after and that, they tell me that the only thing they could get out of me was that I was saying, I've seen him, God help us, I've seen him.
The pit holds such fears for him that Dimbleby has taken a huge pay cut to stay on the surface.
I just know for definite I would never go down again. I'd sooner leave industry than go back down the pit.
Carpet fitter Roy Fulton thought he knew what to expect on the byways of Bedfordshire. But there's one journey he'll never do again in the dark. He was driving home on the deserted road from Stanbridge to Tottenham when the headlights of his van picked out a lonely hitchhiker.
There was a figure thumbing a lift on a street light down here on the left hand side. I'll stop just down here and let you see where it is. So we're there now. I thought to myself he could either be going to Tottenham or Dunstable. So I thought to myself I'd give the lad a lift. He actually walked back into the headlights of the van. He opened the van door, he got in, sat down. I asked him where he wanted to go, and all he said was, well, he never said a word, he just pointed up the road. I started the van up, drove off, never made no conversation. It was just about now I leant forward, picked up me packet of cigarettes. In fact, it was just about here. Turned round to offer the lad one, and that man or boy was not sitting there. And, well, I just frightened the life out of me. I turned round and had a look in the back, and I realised that he wasn't in there, because by this time I had switched the interior light on, and by this time I was just sort of panicking, and I just put it in first gear and I went like a bat out of hell.
And the sanctuary he headed for was his local pub, the Glider. Landlord Bill Stone remembers Fulton coming in, shaking and white as a sheet.
He said to me, give us a large Scotch quick. I said, wait, you seen a ghost or what? He said, yeah, I have. I've seen a ghost. I said, don't be silly. He said, I've seen a ghost.
He insisted that we had to go down the police station because he thought if anybody had got hurt or whatever it was, you know, he'd rather find out about it then, you know, than another day. And, I mean, when we got home, it was still on his mind, and in fact, we slept with all the lights on because he was so convinced that it would, I don't know why, that it would come home, follow him home.
There's obviously someone got in that motor, and I do not for note at this day what it was.
For a council house tenant in Grimsby, the shuffling figure of a hooded monk was too much to bear. Driven from her home, Sharon Grenny is moving with her children to a safer place.
My little daughter used to sleep in here, and she slept in here for about 3 months when she started having bad nightmares, saying that something had came into the bedroom, woke her up at night with dishcloths over its face.
I was lying in my bed Someone came into my room and this cross over his head. I could see his face.
She used to come into my bedroom crying at nights and that, and I just used to put her in bed with me. And she used to go fast off to sleep again. Well, then it started getting pretty regular that she was waking up saying this. So I moved her out of this bedroom and put her into the back bedroom. And after a couple of nights, she started going to sleep every night and not waking up at all. And I put all the toys and that in here, but she would never come into this bedroom and play.
A few weeks later, after her friend Janet had seen the faceless creature, Sharon met it herself.
It was about 8:30 at night and I was putting my little boy to bed, just tucking him in, and my lights went out and I started hearing all shuffling noises. And when my lights came back on, it came walking into the bedroom and it stood at the foot of my bed. I couldn't see no eyes or no nose or anything, just his hood. I couldn't see no hair. And I stood there staring at him and I thought, well, if I run out the bedroom, is he going to shut me in? Is he going to keep me in, you know, sort of like try and lock me in the bedroom? And I sort of like something just come over me to run out the bedroom. And I forgot all about my little boy. I just run out the bedroom, straight down the stairs, and then I asked Janet to come back up the stairs with me and get my little boy out. And when we came back up the stairs, got my little boy out the bedroom and it had gone.
And now the Understanding Council has found Sharon another home.
I've no doubt that people really do see apparitions, but I don't believe that the dead return. It's very rare for two people to see a ghost at the same time, which makes me suspect that it's all in the eye of the beholder. So here's a theory of mine that may be crazy enough to be true. The human eye is a camera. It forms an image of the outer world on its sensitive screen, the retina, and then transmits it to the brain. Could the system sometimes work in reverse, so that the brain sends images to the eye, making it not a camera, but a TV screen? Then believing would be seeing. This phenomenon might be caused by grief, by powerful emotions, by drugs, or plain expectation. But is there any point in adding to the pile of theories? We all love a good ghost story. Do we really want to know the mundane truth?